Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Walu from CZT Ria Matheussen. I hope I pronounced Walu correctly. Um, all right, this is a neat tangle. It happened to be the star of today's Tough Tangle Tuesday session. That's one of the two classes that I do for free. This is a once a month on a Tuesday, hence the name. And what I do is I take something that it's either a bit of a challenge for me, or because there are some tangles, right? If you've been tangling for any length of time, there are some that are really easy to do, and there are some that take a little bit more focus or have a lot of steps, or might be just tricky in one way, shape, or form. And those I do my best to reserve those for Tough Tangle Tuesday. This one I had a bit of challenge with, and it's one of those, I think I got it now, but I played with it for a while. It is a gorgeous tangle. Now, well, actually, I can fill you in on some of the things. Links to step outs are in the description. I did a version, I kind of shifted things a little bit from what Ria has, because I needed to do it for me. And actually, well, oh, actually, it doesn't matter. I can start with the same step because it starts with one curvy line. Now, one of the things that we realized in doing this is what's important is that this initial curvy line. And so I'm going to do it diagonal here. Let's make sure that we can all see. Yes, we can. All right, so I'm going to just start from here, and it's an S shape. So if you do a nice S shape, stop for a break, and then as if it's continuing, so from here, another S shape, stop, make a little break, and then this will be a partial S shape. Okay, the key seemed to be that S shape. Where what I was doing before, and actually I'll put my step out in, but know that I'm gonna end up changing that so that way it reflects at least an S shape to start off with, versus curve line, take a break here or there. That's how I was seeing it. I wasn't paying close attention. So that is the key. Now, what I ended up doing a little bit differently was do I'm going to put this flux shape in first. I'm saying this because this way you can share it, do it either way works for you. This way worked for me. And I'm going to start from this end. And so this is actually jumping down to Ria's sort of step 4. She puts in the bands that end up looking like a ribbon first. But I wanted to make sure, and this is, if you don't know the flux shape, it's like this. It's like a kind of like a teardrop. Well, this is going to be, just do it like that. And we kind of do it on either side. And that's right. I decided that I'm going to take it right to the end. Okay, so I'm doing this. Now here's why, as I'm doing these flux shape here, let me tell you why. The why is because when I was looking at hers, and some of it I know is just a lack of confidence in my own skills. But the first thing I thought was, well, how do I make sure I have enough gap? And this is just a me thing. I want to try to avoid, adding, oh, I made too big of a gap, so I need to, add some, extend a line or something like that. So I was trying to avoid that at all costs. And so that's where I decided, well, hey, why don't I do this part first and then put those lines in? So Ria, if you watch this, I hope you don't mind. It's an absolutely fantastic tangle. And the other reason that I share this is because that might not work for you. We all think differently, and we work differently, and that's why I like to give options and things. So, and there's no right, there's no wrong in Zentangle. We just need to enjoy the gorgeous tangles that people like Ria and others create. Okay, so here, so all filled out. And I'll wait. I'll do the line dots afterwards. So then comes putting in the secondary line. And so starting wherever, and feel free to air draw. So we have S shape, right? And how did I think of this before? It's still S shape going the same direction. It's just shifted down a little bit because this I can't even tell you the amount of time I would take looking back. Is like, wait, and then an air drawing, like I want it to, you want that second curve line to almost you know, zigzag, and you want it to intertwine. And so this is like, as I was re-looking at it, actually at the last session, I'm like, oh, or before the last session that we had today, it's like, oh no, this is it. So it's just a matter of, okay, where do I want it to, where am I going to start it? And I'm going to have it come up and around and like this. And we're going to use the hollow bow technique, of course, to do this. All right, so I'm starting it here. So, and again, like I said, it's an S shape that's just starting a little bit lower. So here we go, taking a deep breath. And then I'm coming right through here. So there's my S shape, S, taking a break through this, right? So, and thinking hollow bow, and then come out wherever you want. And then here it is again and stop. So S, S, or I should say, this was part of another, if I was doing that up here, well, it would have a little bit of a curve here. We'll see. S, this would have been more of like this. We'll turn that into something else. Sometimes it's better to start where you know, but again, that focusing on the S shape. So then, I know what I'll do with that. It'll turn it into my chop or something. So once you have this one line, we're going to do 2 auras on either side. So start wherever you want. And I'm going to start on the this at least on the outside. And of course, you pick your distance. And then just keep auraing, each little section, being careful. And, you could do, both sides and then flip to the other side. I do highly recommend doing the continuous line. I did that earlier, where it's like, wait, where did I start? Where did I stop? I don't even know. And then if you come to where you've already done some hollow bow, or I mean some flux shape, use the hollow bow technique and work underneath, what you've already done there. Okay, and so this one is going to be on top. Actually, I'm going to flip this over so I can see the line and not look at it through my pen line. See, and like right here, it's like, okay, this is getting a little close. Oh, I can fit it in. And then we'll stop there. Here, though, okay, I can fit it in right there, but not here. So, again, we just used that hollow bow, and I got one more. Now, I say one more. This is what Ria had on hers. And as we were playing with it, if you want to do more, you can. All right. Oh, and actually, let's see if I can make this. Let me find that center line. Because technically, I say technically as if it matters. If I'm running it off the page, I like to have, even that little bit, because like I said, it makes it look convincing, as if I cut this out of a bigger piece of work. So then, and of course you can do this, the line dot dot part of the flux, which my favorite part in the world. It's my favoriteest thing to do with tangles is add this gorgeous line dot dot. I mean, and look as I'm going, it just finishes it off. I'm going to write an article sometime about the power of the line dot dot. I had it started a while ago because we joke about it, but it's like the best thing since sliced bread in the Zentangle world for me. And what's neat about it is I can look at this, so putting my finger over, and I can go, oh, it just looks icky. But when you add that little line, and things like this, okay, well, that's kind of straight. You can add some character to it. I can put a little curve in it and continue the curve, do the line and the dot dots as a continuous thought. And it just can add character. Like I said, it finishes off the piece. If you can't fit 2 dots, you can always just put 1 dot. That's okay too. And I do like to turn the tile when I'm doing it, so that way on this side I have the curve lines coming out this way. And so turning my tile helps me to using the natural curve of my hand. But yeah, I've had some flux shapes that just look like a pathetic withered balloon. and then just taking a look and saying, okay, let's add this. And then you go back and look later and you're like, oh, where was that? Oh, I don't know where it is. They all look gorgeous. And even sometimes if the line dot dot isn't exactly where you want it, it still ends up looking really neat. And as I'm saying that, I'm going, oh, I got this little space here. I might fit in another flux shape. We'll see. But it just makes it look so neat, and I think I shall. So here is a something. If you have too big of a gap and you feel like it, you can add a little something else like that in. There's no reason why you can't. Now, the next step that Ria has us do is, along with the fluxes, filling in the little gaps that are created. One of the things that I had challenge with when I was first playing with this was my my curve, my S's were just kind of wild, and I'd end up with a large gap. So there was some that I ended up filling in with some more flux shape. So you could do that, or just fill it in, or leave it open. On our sessions today, we had some that left it open, and it's gorgeous. It's okay. It probably depends a little bit on what type of paper. If you're using a toned paper, or if it's just white. You could also just fill it in with the gray. So for shading, you could do that. What I'll show you in a moment, my little samples. One I filled in, the other I added orbs, because when we do flux, and I'm calling this the flux shape. I don't know that Ria had. I have to go back and reread her description. If she called that, whenever we have this shape, that's just what we call it, because it's what it looks like. But we usually we fill in with orbs, and so thought, well, that's really fun. Oops. And then also make sure, like here, I've got just this little space. See if and no, this one I need to have a little piece of that line there, and then I can fill in the top. It is always good. Oh, this will be covered up with shading. Good. Always good to just kind of double check, especially when you're doing halabau, to make sure even if even the littlest section like that, it makes it convincing. All right, shading. So just super simple. We're going to focus on the over and under. So just on this ribbon piece, and I'm putting it. I'll come back and do the other sides. I always like to put the tip of the pencil where I want. Rika said where you want it to be the darkest. But I like to put it where I don't want to go over, versus like here, I could put it here and I could start filling in, but that's just not good. It's just turn the tile and put it in this way. That way you can also, you have a clear view of what of where you're putting it, versus like this, like I said, hard to see through the pencil. It seems like a silly thing, but it does make a difference. All right, and then I'm just going to bring this out. And similarly with the tortillon, and I don't want to reach over and do it, and so I'll just do the one side, bringing in that graphite just a tad, and that you can of course play with. And then I turn it. So the thing with about the graphite is, when I put a little bit here because that one is hanging over. Oh, this one is hanging over too. Um, the thing that you want to make sure with the graphite and the shading is that you have some natural tile color left, so that way you can see, oh, I see this tucks under. I could probably have maybe not gone out as far as I did, but I kind of like it. It looks rather neat. And then for the flux, now mine is rather small, but I'm going to, let's just put a little graphite down that center line. If yours are larger, you could play with, I have a smaller tortillon that I could have used. Oh, but this is working all right. So I just wanting to spread the graphite out to either side. And so sometimes just following that line with the tortillon, it spreads it out to both sides. So I'm not doing little circular motions. Just more of a back and forth. Oh, look at that. So like I said, if yours is bigger, you could, if the flux shapes are bigger, you could put some on the tips, some graphite, and that will accentuate, what looks like the bend of the leaf. And but the line dot dot also does that. That helps kind of create the illusion of a curve. So that is Walu. It is, like I said, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous tangle. All right, so like I said, we played with this at a Tough Tangle Tuesday, and so here is one. And this one, so I mixed doing it two different ways. This one I did following Ria's step out, because like I'm still going back and forth and deciding which way I like it better. Honestly, it is all about that S shape, but it's still here because one thing that we noticed was, oh, it's like this is going up and above, versus looking like it's twisted back and forth. This it's like, oh, it's twisted, it's going under here, and then this has a lot more over and then some under. In the end, it doesn't matter. It all looks amazing. I added in some what we call fancy flux. These guys, they use this stroke in the Tangle Opus, and I know there's some other ones, but that's what we started. Oh no, I'm sorry. Fancy fescue. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the flux name. Fancy fescues. That's what we call them. And then the little dots behind is a tangle called Therefore. And I do have a quickie video on that, so you can search on the channel for it. It has it's a funny story. I remember. Well, you have to watch the video to see. All right, and then this is the second one that I did. This one on a Renaissance tile versus the white, because I wanted to play. Added some color and some highlights with the white charcoal. So I had a couple colors of green and the white, but basically the same concept. But this one, well, here, looking at them side by side ish. Oh, it fits. This focusing on the S shape, as I mentioned in the video. This was before I realized how important that S shape was. They still turn out gorgeous, so it doesn't matter. What matters is that you do it, you have fun, and you enjoy the process, and you like your results. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this. It was, like I said, such a fun tangle, fun to present, fun to share. If you like the video, would love to have a thumbs up or a like. Feel free to share it. And if you like it enough to maybe see more, I would love to have you be a subscriber to the YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so that way you decide how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all. As I mentioned in the description section, links to the step outs, my version as well as Ria's. And in Ria's, you can see the inspiration for the tangle as well as some of her artwork. It's gorgeous. Below that, ways to connect with me. So if you think you might enjoy exploring a tangle live with other people and have fun with us, we would love to have you. So information is on my website. That link is in the underneath the links to the step outs, as well as our Facebook community. So that's I'm on Instagram well, Pinterest, I don't necessarily post my work. It's harder to have like an active group on those, but we have a really nice community. So if you happen to be on Facebook, would love to have you join us there. I do have some. There's a couple of required questions when you, because it's a private group. So there's a couple of required questions. So make sure you answer those. Um, and like I said, would love to have you. And we share the stuff that we do with Zentangle and gush over each other's work because it's so much fun to enjoy what everyone else has done, and you get really great ideas for other tangles. So with that, again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.